Yo, what's up everybody, James Carr TV here to give my top 10 quarterbacks for the 2014 NFL Draft. But before I begin that, if you're new to my channel, make sure to click right up there in that corner to subscribe for more videos. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at James Carter TV. With that said, make sure that you note in your mind that this is before the combine. If you're watching this at a later date and things may change at the combine, someone may go out there and completely throw duds, and someone may go out there and completely wow everybody. So for now, this is my top 10, and next Wednesday, I will be back to give my top 10 wide receivers, so get ready for that. But before we do all that, let's worry about top 10 quarterbacks. Number 10. Alright, we're going to go from 10 to number 1. So number 10, I have Tajh, and this is somebody that going into the preseason I had about number 5. But he has just fallen off. There's not a lot of things more to like about Tajh Boyd at this juncture, because he went out there in the Senior Bowl and he stunk. Okay, he stunk at practices, he stunk at the game, he stunk, and this is exactly why Tajh Boyd has fallen. I would still take him. If it was me, I mean, obviously it depends on what sort of team you have, what kind of offense you have. I still think he's about a 5th round prospect, maybe 4th, maybe. But it's still, I don't see it. He's too inaccurate and inconsistent. He can be accurate at times, but most of the time, unfortunately, well, not most of the time, but too many times is he inconsistently inaccurate. Okay, it's too much that it happens, too much that it occurs, and he doesn't have a lot of great decision making also equipped to him. He makes some poor decisions sometimes, throws some terrible interceptions. And he did that at the Senior Bowl, and that's why he's really downgraded to about a 5th round prospect for me, and I'm pretty sure for all the other teams out there. But there are some general managers that have been quoted as saying Tajh Boyd could go in the 3rd round still. I think that'd be a bad move. I really don't see much more in Tajh Boyd's game that I haven't seen already. You can like the fact that, yeah, he has a lot of college experience, and he has a lot of experience against good teams and all that, but I'm not buying it. I'm not buying Tajh Boyd. Number 9, David Fales. Now, David Fales is a very interesting prospect. David Fales is only going to be as good as the system he goes to. I mean, let's be honest. He is a West Coast quarterback, bar none. That's it. He cannot make throws 30 yards down the field. I mean, he can, theoretically, but the ball is going to flutter. It's going to have no velocity. It's not going to be able to he's not going to be able to place the ball in a great position for his wide receiver to catch it outside of 30 yards, maybe even outside of 25 yards. So because of that, David Fales is more of a West Coast quarterback. Short to intermediate routes he can make beautifully. He can run an offense like that, but not a lot of offense in the NFL nowadays are based on that. There are still a couple teams that he could fit in, like let's say in Minnesota where they have a Cordero Patterson and a Greg James. He could fit with those guys. Maybe a Oakland, who knows who their wide receivers are going to be and all that. So maybe Oakland looks at David Fales, but it's all going to be about where he goes and whether or not the system is tailored to him and his strengths. And I'm not sure you do that if you're not certain that he can be that guy. I mean, I think he's just going to be a backup in the NFL, but that's just me. I don't think he's starter potential like some people thought before the year began. But with that said, let's move on to number 8. I have Aaron Murray out of Georgia. Now, he blew his ACL out. He blew it out, okay? So that's going to, bring down NFL teams a lot. But the thing I like about Aaron Murray is that he's a gunslinger, man. Like, this guy has mentally, he has no fears, okay, out there on the field. He'll make a throw. If he sees a throw, he's going to make that throw. The problem is, kind of like David Fales, but he has a better arm than David Fales. A stronger arm, but still not NFL caliber arm for Aaron Murray, I would say. But the good thing is, he's a leader. He's going to bring your team down the field. He's gutless. He will make throws. But still, the arm isn't NFL caliber, and the same goes for number 7 on my list, A.J. McCarron. Again, this is one of the most polished guys in this class, you could argue, is A.J. McCarron. But his arm, another guy whose arm is not NFL caliber. It's not an NFL caliber arm, and that's what's gonna. And also, he doesn't astound you physically, not even with his arm. But also with running the ball, it's not like he has great mobility to make up for that. He doesn't astound you physically, and that's what's going to hurt him. He doesn't do the things physically. Mentally, he's fine. Mentally, A.J. McCarron's got it. Alright? But physically, he doesn't do the things that makes you say, yeah, this is a round 1 pick. This is a round 2 pick, maybe even round 3 for A.J. McCarron. I don't think it makes this round 4. I think someone will pick him before round 4. I think he's a day 2 pick. But A.J. McCarron still wonders about his arm. Maybe it's improving. He says it is. We'll see at the next level. Some people have compared him to the next Tom Brady. Some people have compared him to the next Colt McCoy. He's going to fit somewhere in between there, and it's going to be interesting to see where. Number 6, Jimmy Garoppolo out of Eastern Illinois. This is a guy that's shooting up ladders. He's showing the same traits as Tony Romo, who went to the same college. Same college. This release this guy has is boom. It's quick. Oh my goodness. What a quick release that Jimmy Garoppolo has. You like his measurables. He's about 6'2", 230, or man, I may give him too much credit, like 220. You like those measurables. You like his quick release. You just wonder, the level of competition, it's awful. I mean, Eastern Illinois, it's awful. But you want to know who else level competition was awful? Tony Romo, who went to the same college. Tony Romo, look at him now. He's a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL, and I know a lot of people give him troubles for it, but I will take him on my team, and my team needs a quarterback. So, the fact of the matter is this: Jimmy Garoppolo could develop into a very good quarterback. I think someone takes him at round 2, but we'll see what's going to happen with that. And with that, so let's move on to number 5, Zach Mettenberger out of LSU. This guy has the best arm of the class. I'm telling you, this guy's arm is amazing. He can make every NFL throw. Every throw you want him to make in an NFL system, he will be able to make. Zach Mettenberger. Best arm, but he stinks when it comes to mobility. This guy's going to go out there, and first of all, he can't run because he has an ACL tear, so he can't even run. But if he were to go out there and run, he would run a 5.1840, roughly. Okay, he can't run. He's very immobile. Pocket presence lacks because of that, because you know he's not going to evade anybody. He's like someone that you know you're going to have to build a very strong offensive line in front of him. If he does not go into the league and go into a team with a good offensive line, then Zach Mettenberger will struggle. Okay, he will struggle. He won't be able to get the ball out. He will be able to get the ball out quickly, but still, you're going to need to have great protection for this guy. He cannot be sacked more than 30 times a season if you want to make it to the playoffs. This guy, I love his arm. I love his arm. Some of you may say, well, he has 2 great receivers in Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham Jr., but this guy places the ball perfectly. Well, there's one touchdown pass where Odell Beckham or Jarvis Landry didn't even have to move his hands. He just went right here, and this was 25 yards down the field. The ball placement is absolutely outstanding, but the question is his mobility, his pocket presence, and movement. Will it be good enough? Now, Peyton Manning is someone that obviously he doesn't matter that he can't move. Okay, I'm not saying you have to be able to move, but look how great Peyton Manning is mentally. Can Zach Mettenberger get to that point? Because before this year, Zach Mettenberger was not that good. So is this a one-year fluke? He has the arm. Mentally, though, is Cam Cameron the only reason why he did anything? But it's good to see that Mettenberger did well in an NFL-type system that Cam Cameron ran at LSU. ACL is a little bit of a concern. Maybe he redshirts, if you will, his rookie season, comes out guns blazing, and, shocks us all in 2015, not 14. But I like Zach Mettenberger, and I think I'd take him in the 2nd round. And if I had another quarterback to start the beginning of the year, I would take Zach Mettenberger in the 2nd round and wait till 2015 because I think this guy could do something special. If I had the strong offensive line. Number 4, I have Derek Carr, brother of former NFL draftee David Carr. Now, a lot of people shit on Derek Carr. I mean, Todd McShay said that he believes that Derek Carr is a 5th round pick. I'm not that low on him. I think he's a early 2nd round pick. But the thing is, for me, I watched the tape of Derek Carr. Nothing really impresses me because the Fresno State offense consists of a lot of screen passes, short passes turn into long pass, run after the catch offense. But every now and then they do a deep ball, but then they faced USC, okay, and they fell behind early, and Derek Carr looked awful. He looked terrible. He looked as if he looked like he was undraftable against USC. Now, what I like about Derek Carr is he has some mobility to him, ability to make plays, but the problem is under pressure in the pocket. Once he gets under duress, he makes bad decisions with his footwork. His footwork becomes inconsistent. He makes bad throws. The arm, though, is there. Okay, his arm rivals Zach Mettenberger. I just said that Zach Mettenberger has the best arm, and Derek Carr is right there at number 2 for me. But the question is, again, can he Look in the face of pressure. Doesn't matter. Doesn't care. Can he make those big throws? I'm not convinced he can. I'm not convinced that his footwork will be able to become consistent enough for him to thrive in the NFL. So for now, I have him as an early second-round prospect. But the arm's there, and he's a great leader. This guy's the best leader of this class to me, next to AJ McCarron. These two are great leaders. Derek Carr. I was watching the Mountain West Championship, and Derek Carr, man, this guy knows how to lead in the huddle, man. This guy's leading him on. He's giving a big speech. I love that about Derek Carr. I also love the fact that at the Senior Bowl, after practice was finished, him and Jordan Matthews were out there throwing balls, working together after practice. Derek Carr is someone who will work at it 20 hours a day, and he'll only see 4 hours to go back there and do it again. But, you know, still, will he be able to become consistent enough in the NFL, or was his offense of Fresno State just, you know, or was he a product of the offense of Fresno State? I mean, we're going to have to see. But for now, I have him at number 4. Number 3, I have, I did have Blake Bortles at UCF. I think a lot of teams are overrating Blake Bortles because of his size, and, you know, which is fine. He does have the Ben Roethlisberger mold to him, 6'4", maybe 6'5". 6'4" right now, 245. I mean, this guy's big. I mean, this guy's a big man. But again, to me, 1 year wonder. I think he's really just a 1 year wonder. I'm not high on him like everyone else is. And again, UCF. I'm not gonna talk about level competition. I really hate when people bring that up, but I will a little bit here. I mean, UCF isn't in a great conference in and of itself. They had a great game against Baylor in the Fiesta Bowl. Great upset for him. But again, in that first half, though, think about it. In the first half in the Fiesta Bowl, did Blake Bortles look good to you? Because to me, he looked like he may not even be in the first 3 rounds. And after I was looking at that first half, and then the second half, he showed up on that wow. So, can that consistency, can he find that consistency? I'm not sure at this juncture, but from what I saw from this 1 year, I am comfortable enough for a team to take him in the first round. I know the Houston Texans are probably going to take him with the first overall pick, something I would not do. But again, teams are going to fall in love with his size. Teams are going to fall in love with him, and the Texans are going to draft him, I think. But I don't think he's as great as people are making him out to be. If he was at last year's draft, does he go number 2 overall? Yeah. But it's still, I'm not high on Blake Bortles, so that's it. Now, number 2, Johnny Manziel. Now, this is the enigma. Everyone wants to talk about Johnny Manziel. He's an enigma that we all know. I mean, everyone knows who Johnny Football is, Johnny Manziel is. But the problem I have with Johnny Manziel is this. Now, great improvisational skills, great mobility, great arm strength. I think his arm strength is underrated. But the problem I have with Johnny Manziel is sometimes he just cannot sit there in that pocket and look. Sometimes he can't do that. Like before anything breaks down, he just and then he runs, and then he runs, and he doesn't understand. Hey, I have 2 of the best tackles in college football in Jake Matthews on my left side and Cedric Abuhi on my right side. Why don't I sit in this pocket and make some throws? No, I gotta run around. And in the NFL, that'll get you injured like this. Ask Michael Vick, ask Jake Walker, ask these guys. It'll get you injured like that. You need to sit in the pocket. You need to look. Then you need to throw it, okay? He needs to do that more often for me, because him running around like that in the NFL, he's done. And he's going to be like a 1 or 2 year, wow, look at this guy. Just like Michael Vick. Now, Michael Vick obviously had the prison stuff happen to him. But I'm telling you, the injuries will come up. And he hasn't had injury problems yet. I mean, he had, a couple shoulder problems, knee problems. Didn't miss a game. But again, in the NFL, it's going to hurt. And you're going to get hurt if you run around like that. He needs to learn how to sit in the pocket. And that's my biggest fear with Johnny Football. But because of the unique playmaking ability and improvisational skills, I have Johnny Football as my number 2 quarterback. And number 1 for me is Teddy Bridgewater. Now, teams don't like Bridgewater because of the following reasons, which I hate. Because he doesn't have the size for it. They said the same thing about Aaron Rodgers back in 2007. They say he doesn't have the size. They say, oh, well, he's a quiet leader. They say, oh, level of competition. Okay, shut up. This guy has it. I'm trying to tell people. Teddy Bridgewater is the best quarterback in this class, and anyone who doesn't see it, to me, is blind. Okay? Yes, he doesn't have the wow factor either, but he gets it done. He's accurate, he's smart, he knows what he's doing, he's cunning. He compares to me to Aaron Rodgers. He's not as good as Aaron Rodgers yet, but you give him about 4 years, I'm telling you, he might be as good as one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He's so smart, he's so accurate, he's ready to learn in the NFL team. Teddy Bridgewater, to me, has to be the number one quarterback. He should be the number one quarterback off the board. Maybe not number one. I'm not saying he should go number one. Actually, he should. If Houston wants to take a quarterback, take him. But I'm trying to tell people, Teddy Bridgewater, this guy, I guess, with the lights have been on, okay? Last year, in the bowl game against Florida, the lights are on, okay? This is Teddy Bridgewater's showcase game. He lights it the fuck up. This year in the bowl game against, who are they playing? Miami. Boom! He lights it the fuck up again. So it's not a problem that, whenever he's under pressure, he doesn't play well. No. Under pressure, he plays well. Remember that hit he got from Jonathan Bostic? This guy got murdered. Got back up and went to the next play and made a great play. Teddy Bridgewater, to me, has that knack that he doesn't have the wow factor like a Johnny Football or the size like a Blake Bortles, but he just has the skill. Just the flat out skill, the polishment that this guy has is what to me should make him the number one. He's the number one on my list. Should make him the number one quarterback on anyone's list, because to me, Teddy Bridgewater is the number one quarterback in this year's draft class. What do you think? Comment down below. James Carter TV. Thanks for watching. I'll check y'all out. Check me out next week when I make my top 10 running backs list. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.